I should drink water before I start the episode, so I'm going to do that right now anyway. Oh, my throat. Okay. We'll keep it down. Wait, you're a librarian, aren't you? An astute observation, yes, monsieur. As the only quiet person in the library, I'm most assuredly the librarian. Well, now that we have your attention, my friend wants to ask you something. I do. All right, I do. What can you tell us about Don Quixote? I borrowed this book from a friend. What can you tell us about it? Don Quixote of La Mancha, it's a classic. Everybody's read it. Yeah, everybody, but for those who haven't, oof, I'm not going to sit here and summarize a great work of literature for two imbeciles who are too lazy to read, nor would I expect you to, monsieur. But what can you tell us about the physical book itself? This particular book didn't come from any library. That's what you want to see. See, there's no library stamp or card. I assume it was acquired from a bookshop, a French bookshop, with the French translation and publishing information. Okay, so we have another lead. Did you have any other questions? Can I tell us about the Spanish monarchy? You seem like a scholarly, well-read individual. I'm sure you're up to date on geopolitical news and the like. I don't need your praise. Spit out what imbecile question is in the back of your throat. Well, we understand the Spanish is currently under dispute. Can you give us a brief rundown of who the contenders are? What a trivial question. Even an elementary school kid can name immediate heirs to every throne in Europe. Yeah, but for the sake of those children who slept through that class, can you remember something very well? Pay attention because I'm not repeating myself. Queen Regnant Isabella II of House Bourbon. Upon her death, the crown fell to her husband, King Consort Francis, Duke of Cadiz, although it is certainly possible that an immediate family member could stake a claim. However, the queen's position is currently being disputed by the Carlists, headed by the Counts of Montemolin. I hope that answers your question. We're actually interested in Prince Juan Cuerdo of Spain. I think I've heard that name yesterday. Prince Juan Cuerdo, is that what you said? Monsieur, I think you've been misinformed. There is no current Prince of Spain. I'm not even sure Cuerdo is a real name. It is certainly no line of any Spanish monarchy. How strange. What does this mean, Falcon? He's not a prince. Maybe he's a lunatic, or perhaps he's involving us in some sort of con. We don't have long before the trial, but it may be in our interest to confront him directly. Right. Are you two quite done chit-chatting? That's all. I actually need to do like a head count of how many places I've been, because I don't know how many days I have left, because that's a day. Can I look somewhere? How do I know? Well, I could do a head count. Let me think what I've done. We went to the palace. We went to the flowers. After the palace, we went to chocolate. After chocolate, we went to the bar. After the bar, we went to the library. So this would be our 6th day, and we have not met anyone who fits what we need. But it looks like I think that's our only lead. We haven't really met anyone we would frame. We're going to go to the prison. I've wasted the day on the chocolate, but I don't know how you would know that. I have no time for your quibbling, monsieur. Stand aside. You can't talk to me like that. I most certainly can. We have reason to believe that you are housing a suspect under false pretenses and direct violations of some made-up stuff. Okay? All right. No need to break out the legalese. I'll go open the cell. Wow, Falcon, how'd you memorize those criminal codes? Memorize? Come on, Sparrowson. Learn how to bluff. There's our guy. Ah, Senior Falcon, it's so good to see you again. You have some good news about my case, I hope. Let us confront politely. Listen, Juan, in order to maximize our chance of a successful trial, I need to know every bit of information. I can't work with half-truths. If you tell me one thing and the prosecution's evidence tells me another, then we're both in trouble. I'm afraid I don't quite follow, Senor. Do you want me to spell it out? I know that you are not the Prince of Spain. I know that your name is not Juan Cuerdo. Where is this coming from? I assure you, Senor, that I am who I claim to be. If you want your trial to be a farce, then you don't need my help. Come, Sparrowson, we're leaving. Wait. Calm yourself, Monsieur Falcon. I'll reveal all. Did you just say, Monsieur? What happened to your Spanish accent? What happened to your Spanish accent? Your suspicions are well placed. Juan Cuerdo is not my real name, and I am not a Spanish prince. That was just a persona I concocted for the purpose of getting arrested. What's your real name? So what is your real name? What's in that name? It's just an empty label, a vapid reflection of who we really are. Today I'm Juan Cuerdo, the Prince of Spain. Tomorrow I may be Bruno Rey, a pauper living under a bridge of the Seine. But that doesn't change who I am or what I do. That didn't really answer my question. No, I suppose it didn't. But you're a smart bird, Monsieur Falcon. I suppose you already know my real name. Oh, yeah, he's this guy. You're Renard Volpez, private investigator, very astute, and you're Monsieur Falcon, private defense attorney. But that wasn't always your name, was it, Monsieur Falcon? Just like me, you know how to adopt a new persona on a whim. You changed your name, Falcon? I didn't know that. This isn't about me. Juan Renard, Monsieur. We're trying to uncover the truth. Of course, so what is the truth that you're trying to uncover, Monsieur Falcon? Why would you want to get arrested? Why would you want to get arrested? You're putting me in a difficult position, Monsieur. If I tell you the full story, I would be putting someone else in danger. How about this? I'll tell you a story. I like stories. There was a girl, a mademoiselle, who was in a great deal of debt. Everyone has a debt these days, Monsieur. Indeed, but this particular mademoiselle was in debt to a very powerful man, and that man wished to collect. The mademoiselle had no means of paying, so the man offered her a deal. Murder this man, and I'll forget what you are owed. Refuse, and I'll reap what I am owed from your parents. Okay, so he did it for the girl, the goose. But another man, a gallant, with a foolish, archaic nose and chivalry, heard the mademoiselle's story. The knight knew that the murder was inevitable, but he sought no way to take the fall in the madame's place. Do you understand what I'm saying? I understand. I understand, Monsieur. To be honest, it wasn't the subtlest of allegories. Storytelling was never my strong suit, but I'm glad that you're seeing things from my perspective. Hopefully that sheds some light on this situation. If I may ask, Monsieur, why did you not just go to the police with the information you had? The police are not always an option. What is a man to do when the justice system itself is the problem? I'll let you know when I figure it out, Monsieur. Dwell on it. Perhaps we should talk about something else in the meantime. That's all. Well, I'm thinking about a time. I'm thinking about a days. Perfect. Could you find Mousy and ask him whether the birds have successfully flown south for the winter? Oh, the birds have flown south. What is that? Some sort of code? Yeah, he wants to know that the goose woman and her family got out of town. I don't think we have time. That's 6, right? I think I'm out of time. Yep. Apparently I can go everywhere, actually, though. So, are they just going to yell at me for not going to court? I don't know what happens. Falcon, what are you doing? It's trial, though. We have a Spanish prince in it. Oh, right. What was I thinking? Okay, yeah. So that I did have the right number. Okay, so I don't know if I have any evidence. Once again, Falcon swears and finds themselves waiting outside the doors to the Tribunal de Grand Instant. I only wasted 1 day. Yes. Of course I'm nervous. What have we learned about Prince Juan? What do we know about the real murderer? Nothing. Easy there, Falcon. We can do this. Senor Falcon, I trust everything is in order? Absolutely. I have every intention to bring the truth to light in this trial. Such confidence. That's magnificent to see. Bring the truth to light, you say. An admirable goal. No more jousting at the imaginary giants. All of you cease your yammer. The door is opening. Here we go. I don't even have any evidence. I have flowers. We will. I think we're fucked. We're ready. We're not ready. I don't know what we're going to do. We don't have dick. JJ. Oh, I can't remember. What was the name for him? Oh, JJ. That's right. Severin. Nervous? Why would I be nervous? I'm not nervous. I'm as calm as a cuckoo. You're the nervous one. This whole courtroom is nervous. Whoa, cool your feathers, Falcon. Humph, terrible. You can't even maintain a stoic facade. I thought the trial would be the perfect opportunity for you to redeem your previous embarrassments. It's not. But it is how you act before the trial's even started. Why, you pompous tail, posture perfect. Then we got wolf. It wasn't a wolf last time. Oh, Romulus, because Romulus and Remus, I see. Let's all settle down. Court is now in session. Psst, Falcon. What is it? Is it me or does the primary judge look hairier today? Yeah, last time it was a bird. That's a different judge to the one who resided with Dame Cataline's trial, you doofus. Oh, still, it's a little strange, isn't it? Not really. Not really. There are dozens of judges in Paris alone. It only makes sense that we see different ones in different cases. Same jury, though. Excuse me, Your Honor. I was under the impression that Judge Maxime would be residing over this case. Where is he? Oh, no, he's dead. Judge Maxime has gone on temporary sick leave due to a terrible accident with a flight of stairs. But rest assured, assessors, prosecutor, defense, and members of the jury, that I am more than qualified to fill his shoes. Without further ado, let's get this show underway. This is the trial of Prince Juan Cuerdo, who stands accused of murdering Major Howe, conspiring to murder the king himself. Roll call. The defense is present and ready. The prosecution is ready. Good. Very good. I expect this to be a nice speedy trial. I don't want to see this dragged up by technicalities and bureaucracy. Well said, Your Honor. I expect that once the court sees the overwhelming evidence, this trial will be over in 5 minutes. It might very well be. 5 minutes? He's just messing with your head, Falcon. Keep it together. So we're all on the same page? Excellent. Prosecutor, please call your first witness to the stand. Very well. I call the police officer who investigated the crime scene. I call upon Inspector Just Volerti. Is this the chicken again? Yeah. I swear to honor without hatred and without fear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Please recite your name and occupation. He is the inspector. He is the servant of the law. That will do. We've heard your monologue before. Whoa, Cocorico really going for a speed record, isn't he? Now can you please re-witness to one of the steps? Of course. At 10 o'clock. Oh, God. Did he just say o'clock? He did. Then he saw Prince Juan, King Louis, the corpse of Major Howell with a rose in hand, and around 24 citizens. They all testing Major Howell taking the rose from his hand and promptly dropping dead. And what did the morgue uncover upon examination of the corpse? The coroner determined with absolute certainty that he died of poisoning. Therefore, the poison rose. Okay, we can do the chocolate for that. Damn, I was hoping that the coroner's report would determine that the guy died from a heart attack. That would make for a particularly speedy trial, wouldn't it? But we aren't so lucky. Something else must be amiss. Right, I'll tear it apart. Your Honor, I wish to cross-examine. That's the only thing I think. Falcon, was it only the court's time? A hiring officer would never lie on the witness stand. I wouldn't accuse the inspector of lying. I just want to make sure that every base is properly covered. Ugh, this sounds like pointless nitpicking to me, but I'll allow it for now. Go on, Falcon, do your cross-examination. Yeah, I do not have a lot to work with. It's the poisoning I want to talk about, I think. Yeah. Inspector, you said that you determined that it was killed by poison, correct? He stated the signs and symptoms were textbook. There is no possibility that his death was natural. Okay, how was he poisoned? How exactly was he poisoned? What was the delivery mechanism? His finger was pricked by the poison rose. He even commented out loud about seconds before dying. All 22 citizens witnessed the murder testing and hearing this. Is there any possibility he was poisoned by something else? What an absurd thing to ask, JJ. You just heard the 22. Okay, what are you suggesting? That he had, yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't doubt that he was poisoned, but I have no... Unbelievable. Only a total buffoon would fail to draw a blatant here. JJ, as somebody who's sit here and lecture you on the basics, they'll end this painlessly. That should alleviate all doubt that the rose, in fact, was the poison. Actually, I can't tell him that. A judge asked, well, why not? We didn't check the rose. What? It just seemed obvious that the rose was the cause of the poison. Well, then that would be a good time to take a test. Here's a marvelous thought. We prick the finger of the defendant with the rose. If there's no poison on the rose, then he lives, and he's free to go. If the rose is poisoned, then he dies. But that's okay, because the punishment would be fitting with the crime. A marvelous suggestion. What is this, a witch trial? This isn't America, Severin. That's not how we do things. Call me a feather, JJ. It was really a joke. There are far more humane ways to test for poison. I'm sure the inspector will perform his duty with due diligence. Actually, we won't be able to test the rose for poison at all. Why is that? Because they don't have it. Given the nature of the fire was destroyed by the police force, we burned it to ashes. Tisk, such unprofessionalism. I'm mixing up all the voices. It's too fast. If we had no way to know whether the rose was poisoned, this whole trial would be called in question. Nice try, JJ, but through the process of reasoning by elimination, we could still deduce with absolute certainty that the rose was poisoned. In other words, there was nothing else that could have caused the poison. Yes, there was. There was something else that could have caused the poisoning. It's my chocolate, because he's a dog. Look at this. What am I supposed to be looking at? It is the paper wrapper to a piece of chocolate. It was found in the Louvre, the South, whatever. We can date its consumption on the day of the incident. You're not suggesting that Major Howell ate a piece of poisoned chocolate, or just chocolate at all. Intriguing. I have no other evidence. I have no other evidence in this. Did you see this wrapper at the crime scene for yourself, Inspector? The police force does not have the time or resources to trawl every piece of trash at every crime scene, I'm afraid. In other words, you overlooked it. Tisk, astounding unprofessionalism. Prosecution is right to be discussed. What a disgraceful display, Inspector. I offer my apologies, Your Honor. I don't want your apologies. I want you to do your damn job. Oh, wow, I swore. Get off the witness podium before I kick you off myself. As you wish. I'll take my leave. Until next time, I have no other evidence. Correct. And you have reason to believe that it was consumed on the day of the incident? I do. I have an expert food tasting witness who is willing to testify if need be. You have a food witness? I don't recall anyone like that. Who on earth are you talking about, Falcon? Oh, I see. But I do know for certain that Major Howell... How do you know for certain he consumed it? Well, that is a fact we're still investigating. I see. And do you have any evidence that this chocolate was in fact poisoned? Again, this is something that may require a little more time to definitively prove. So then, in actuality, you do not have evidence that he consumed some poisoned chocolate. Instead, you have a solitary piece of rubbish that you plucked straight out of the gutter. That's weak even for you, JJ. Let's move things along. I have another witness I would like to summon. He is a man who claims to have an excellent view of the people going in and out of the Louvre at the time of the incident. I call upon Monsieur Toussaint Kingsley. Oh, we don't even know this guy. That's not good. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. All right. Theo. Oh, it plays the good music. Right? Yes. All right. Theo. Okay, yes. We got actor. Please state your full name and occupation. My name is Toussaint Kingsley. I'm the person who fishes. He's a kingfisher. Oh. Is that how it is? I thought the French justice was better than this. I beg your pardon. Here comes Toussaint Kingsley, the kingfisher. Clearly, he must be a fisherman because you didn't hear all kingfishers are fishermen. Well, you are carrying a fishing rod. And can a man not carry a fishing rod on bait without being branded a fisherman? I'm kind of with him on that. That is biased. Look, the prosecutor's carrying a riding crop. Clearly, he must be a horse jockey. Oh, for pity's sake, fine. List your occupation as person who fishes, not fisherman. Thank you. Actually, why do you carry a riding crop, Severin? I've never seen you ride a horse. I don't know, JJ. Why do you, a 30-something-year-old with no health problems, carry a cane? This is veering quite far off course. Could the prosecution please get back to his questions? Of course, Your Honor. Mr. King, is it true you were nearby the Louvre at the time of the incident? Yes. I was sitting upon the railing of the Pont de Art. Pont de Art? Down there. That's the new bridge. Okay, that's right. And what were you doing at the time of the incident? I was fishing. Kingfishers, am I right, Falcon? So you would have plenty of opportunity to see the people who entered and exited the palace. Can you tell us who you saw? Well, the Louvre's a busy place. Naturally, I saw a lot of people. But at 9, he saw the king enter the building. He was surrounded by his entourage. Then around 9:30, I saw the shifting look fox. Your Honor, I object to the witness's use of the term shifty look. It's vague and biased. No, really, he looked super shifty. I saw him rubbing his paws and cackling glee. And I saw him take out a rose and carefully rub the stem. Okay, so we know this isn't true. Or it's someone else. I really shouldn't speculate. Of course, I was wrong to ask such a leading question. But yeah, definitely he was putting some sort of powder on the stem. Wow, even I was expecting such a bold admission. Members of the court, it sounds like we have a direct witness of the defendant readying the murder weapon. The defendant claims the rose was never poisoned, yet here we have a man who saw the poison with his own eyes. I smell poigery. You do? No question. He saw a shifty-looking criminal readying poison and cackling near the scene of the crime. That's not believable at all. I think you might be right. I think we do. Because he didn't enter from, yeah, I know. Ugh, fine, do your thing. Go on, Falcon. Go make a fool of yourself. I think he's gonna, if it highlights where he came in from. Can I? Yeah, okay. He was at the Pont du Art. That's what we're gonna question. You say you're sitting upon the edge of the Pont du Art because we know he came in through the garden because we found his book page in the garden. Yep. What entrances can you see from that bridge? Mr. Kingsley, you had a good view of the Louvre's southern entrance, didn't you? Yep, the Pont d'Art is a great vantage point seeing the grand south side. What about the other entrances? The other entrances? You mean like if you entered from the garden or the carousel? No, I couldn't possibly see those areas from the bridge. But of course that isn't relevant. Monsieur Kingsley witnessed him entering the south entrance with flower in hand, and that's what counts. What if he used another entrance? What if he didn't enter from the south entrance? What if he approached the Louvre from the gardens in the west? The gardens to the west. That's a big what if. Do you have any evidence that he entered? I do. As a matter of fact, I do. I have definitive proof that he did. Hey, I know what I saw, monsieur. I am doubtful to go on, JJ. Use the definitive proof. It is the extra page from the garden. Look at this book page. Page 44 of Don Quixote specifically was found just outside the Louvre's west entrance. This proves nothing. I'm not done yet. Take a look at this. The book. Don Quixote. This is the book Prince Juan has been reading in jail since his arrest. I believe he had it on his person for some time. And yes, page 44 is missing. That was the first thing I checked. You do realize what this means, don't you, Severin? The defendant was present in the gardens prior to entering the Louvre. This also means that in all likelihood, the defendant entered it from the west entrance, not the south. Wah! What do we have time-wise? 20 minutes ago. We're going to do it. You could not possibly have been seen by Monsieur Kingsley from the Pont de Art. Well, what? I know what I saw, monsieur. A fine theory, but maybe the defendant took the long way around. One can still travel from the southern entrance without walking on the river. An extra 2 kilometers walking just to enjoy the pre-murder scenery. Let's not say silly things, Cocorico. Okay, maybe you left the page there to mislead us. Now you're the one who's blindly speculating. It's not blind speculation, it's a viable hypothesis. You are fond of logic, aren't you, Cocorico? Let's talk about Occam's razor. When torn between two seemingly equal hypotheses, we must side with the one that imposes the fewest assumptions. Which of these theories takes fewer assumptions? 1, The page from his book fell on his way to the Louvre's entrance. 2. He deliberately planted the page on the off chance it would be discovered, then he took the long way around. How dare you? The nerve of you to lecture me to the basic philosophical concepts. I'll stop lecturing you when you stop being a basic bitch. Monsieur Falcon, he's calling himself. What is the point of all this? The ultimate point is that the testimony is fabricated, made up, utter fiction. And no, everything I said is the truth. I suspect that Witness isn't even a fisherman. I'm not a fisherman. I'm a man who fishes. See, he admits it himself. That's not what I meant. Innocent, perhaps. What a twist. I gained a little favor with the jury. I don't know if I can gain any more favor with the jury. I don't have any other evidence other than the plants. I don't know if those are going to help me. Prosecutor, you guys know will put him in his place. I must concede. You concede? On this point, at least. Falcon's evidence strongly suggests the key component is false. I'm going to drink water while they talk. You can read for a second. If you can't read, I'm sorry. Okay, so that's the swan. Oh no, he's going to try and frame the swan. Swan? Yeah, we know it's the swan. Your Honor, we're out of time. We're 10 minutes overdue to the start of Hare v. Tortoise trial. It's that late already? Curses. I was hoping we could have the case wrapped up in a single trial session. It's a shame, but ultimately an accurate sentence is always preferable to a species. Yes, all right. I need to hear you moralizing. Court will resume Friday. Awesome. Okay, that gives me more time. Friday. Don't be late. Prosecutor, do your damn job. Get this stupid fox a conviction already. I'll do my best to ensure that justice is served. So we need to go... A lot came up in that trial, huh? Yeah, no doubt about that. But something's bothering me. Why would that fisherman guy lie at the witness stand? He was coerced. Well, it's possible that he was coerced or bribed. That's just what I was thinking. Maybe the real murderer threatened the fisherman into making up the story. Let's keep it open mind. Anything is possible at this stage. But to be perfectly honest, something else is bothering me about the trial. Well, I know everything about them, so it's Judge Romulus. Judge Romulus, he's acting without a shred of professionalism. He's obviously more interested in securing a guilty verdict than he is on uncovering the truth, but why? Maybe he has a vendetta against the Spanish royalty. Oh, you know what? He wants to make the royalty look bad. And all, excuse me, Mr. Falcon, is it this? Oh, it's the rabbit. Sorry to bother you, but this ledge is right. I think it's for you. A letter for me? I wonder why I wasn't in my office. Have you been demoted to courier status, Rupert? Oh, hush, hush, Sparrowson. I don't need to be pitied by a first-year dropout. Oh, good comeback. So what does the letter say, Falcon? It's a threat made with cut-out newspaper letters. Whoa, I didn't know those things actually existed. Let me see. Falcon, stop your investigation or there will be consequences. Scary. There is no question that this letter originated from Major Howe's murderer. He or she must be where we're getting close to uncovering the truth. Sounds about right, but why would a person write cut-out newspaper letters? Masking one's handwriting would be the most common reason. Although I can't help but wonder why they're bothered since we don't have any handwriting samples to compare it to. We're still going to have our investigation, though, right? Absolutely. Oh, yes, absolutely. If a lawyer were to turn everything on the route to receive a threatening letter, that would never get any work done. Besides, there's only 3 days we can't afford to do petty things like this. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wow, you're right. Let's make those days count. Okay, so we need to go to the mouse and make sure that the birds have flown south, which is, okay, Arden Associates is going to take our time, so they do know that. But we need to make sure the birds have flown south to make sure the swan has gotten out of town. Oh, hello again. Hi, Mousy. Mousy, we have a message for you. It's from Prince Swan himself. He wants to know if the birds have flown south for winter, whatever that means. Oh, yes, yes. The birds have migrated successfully. But if Prince Swan told you that, then that must mean he trusts you. He must want you to take these. Go on. Take them. These are used train tickets. It looks like 2 people took a railway trip to Vienna. What exactly is the point of this, Mousy? Prince Swan said they would help with the trial. See the names. Okay, yeah. Gautier, Signia, and Nicole Signia. So that's her parents. I recognize the surname, but I don't know who these people are. Neither do I, really. Monsieur, Prince Swan told me to book the train tickets and then make sure they caught the train. And so that's what I did. Strange. So now we'll go show the daughter the tickets, and she'll be willing to testify that she was blackmailed. Let's go, Sparrowson. I'm done playing courier. Good call. Okay, yeah, we got this. We got this in the fucking bag. And I got 5 minutes. Okay, so we want to go... what was the garden called? I think we want to go to Le Halles. Right? That's strange. I don't see any sign of the flower girl. Do you think we scared her off? Maybe you do with your horrendous and inappropriate flirting technique. I was an upstanding gentleman. I'll have you know that I can flirt like a peacock in tail fanning mode. We really don't have time to discuss. Let's just continue our investigation. Okay, so she's gone somewhere. Where do I think she would be? She'd either go back to the scene of the crime or she'd go to the bar. I have nothing for the Chocolate Emporium. I have a reason to believe that's where she is. This is like the big pick. She'd go back to the palace. If I go here, what can I do? I can't do a lot. I'll go to the palace. They once again find themselves in the palace. So which exhibition are we visiting today? Let's go to the garden. I think we bothered him enough. Okay, this was a waste of time then. Great. Oh, I should, you know what? I think I know what I should have done. I mean, I should bother to check all the rooms, but that was a waste of a day. Okay, so this was a colossal waste of time. Fuck. We needed to go to the chocolate store and ask about the wolf. I bet. Why do I have to go to my office? That's not fair. Trash. So I'm pretty confident about this case. The big picture's coming together nicely. I'm somewhat relieved that Prince Swan came clean. His secret was putting the whole case in jeopardy. We still got one day until the trial, but how to spend it? Maybe we just play some cards. Is something wrong, Sparson? You're unusual. Right, Falcon, we need to talk. What's up? See, I was doing some thinking. Dangerous things to do, I know. Anyway, I realized that we were missing a crucial piece of evidence. What evidence would that be? Well, we know that Major Howell consumed a piece of chocolate, and we know they died of poisoning, but we still aren't sure the chocolate was the cause. That's true. If we keep pushing the chocolate theory, he'll almost certainly bring that up. So I thought to myself, if one would have consumed the wrapper itself, then that may have right food. But it contains poison. Well, sure, that could work, but it would also be incredibly foolish. Right? You think of eating the wrapper? Maybe. Well, stop those thoughts right now. I'm not going to let you potentially kill yourself. I knew you would say that. That's why I already consumed the... Oh, my God. 45 minutes ago. Did he just die? Sparrowson. Oh, well, this is great. Hopefully we run into someone in the hospital. Doctor, is Sparrowson okay? Well, he's not conscious, but he is stable. I think it's safe to say your friend is not on his deathbed. Oh, thank God. How did you say this happened again? It's a long story. Lawyer and occupational doctor. Can you tell me what poison causes? I have no idea. I'm an expert in mental health, not toxicology. I have a sent for a specialist who will be here by tomorrow morning. He'll make a full assessment. That's good to hear. Thanks, doctor. Take good care of him. Wait a moment. There's the matter of the bill. We'll have to discuss it later. I haven't... How much is it? I see. Well, rest assured that your friend is in good hands. Well, hopefully I can afford it. This is terrible. What the hell was Sparrowson thinking? I can't win a case like this. You, I finally found you. Is it the Swan woman? Did someone say something? Running around like a headless chicken. You're one tricky lawyer to find. I told you to drop the investigation. You just wouldn't listen. Who's speaking? I can't see you, monsieur. Step forward. All right. I'll step forward. It'll be the last thing you'll ever see. But dick. Au revoir, J.J. Falcon. Oh, I got murdered. What just happened? Where am I? Am I dead? No, that can't be right. This is nighttime. I'm just sleeping like a true bird. If I focus on count to 3, I should be able to wake up. Okay, so I will cut the episode here, and we'll do one more. I didn't think it'd go on the song, but thank you for watching. Next time we will complete the trial. I'm Pokemon.